Alright, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to TWR. My name is Tavian. This is my world of reptiles, and I hope you are all doing absolutely awesome and taking care of yourselves. I'm just getting home from work, throwing a few crickets in with some animals. I think I threw some in with Kiara and some in the dwarf frog. I have some throwing with my other frog too right now, the Cuban frog. But first, I came in here and I peeped something and I wanted to share it. I'm not going to take too much time because I don't want to invade too much, but oh, check that out. Yeah, look at that. That is Zuko working at her, trying to get her to got another poop I just cleaned. My God. Anyway, that is Zuko who was working at her, trying to get her to lift up that tail so he can do the thing there. So yeah, we got some breeding behavior happening now with my Dumeros boas again. Yeah, that's been a couple of a number of those happening now, so I'm feeling really positive that we could get some Dumeros babies by summertime. At least I'm hoping. I'm really hoping, guys. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I did feed my my white's tree frog. I fed the alligator lizard Kiara. Who else did I give crickets to? I think those are the only two. But I do have crickets for my Cuban tree frog here. However, remember I said that I need to take out that plant because it's all dead and just not even there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of there and trim up this one here, get those dead pieces off. I got this other plant here from work while I was there, so I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. Alright, and we are back, and I have gotten that plant in there and kind of trimmed away most, not all of the yellow from this fern that's right here, but I got this other one tucked in, and it is filling the space in very nicely, and it is looking really great. And we have got Max up top there, hanging up on top of his little piece of cord. Is often where he is at if he's not tucked up under the plants, but once the plants started dying, that became his spot to be. And he looks really great up there. It's like, I'm so glad I did that. It's definitely one of my favorite things about this particular setup is just being able to see him perched up top there, just looking super adorable. So I'm really liking the way this is looking now. Hopefully this plant survives. Hopefully my mister doesn't break again, and if so, I will immediately just go and get like a hand mister or something, because dumping water did not do good for the plants. It was not very good for them. They did not survive, and thus taking away a lot of the shelter that was given to poor little Max here. And so I haven't been seeing him as much because the plants are all dead and it was just not as filled in. So hopefully now this will encourage him to actually, oh my gosh, he's so cute, to actually come down a little bit more and be more present now that there's more coverage again and he can look good. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw some crickets in for him and go ahead and let him eat and chill out and enjoy his newly refurbished space a little bit, and so that he doesn't have this light shining at him, and let him do whatever he's doing with cleaning himself, I guess. So yeah, there it is. That's the enclosure, and that is all done for the day. So that's one task down. Yay! Ah, Juicy. I see that you have poopedeth. I see you have pooped there in your water dish. I will get that out of there for you. Don't worry about that at all. Dad will get that right now. Boop, 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 boop. Get that. This is a terrible angle to come from. Boom, got it. Got that up out of there. Got that Juicy. Got it. It's all good. It's all good and clear. I was actually looking at Juicy the other day, and I saw something that I really wanted to talk about because I don't think I've actually talked about it on the channel before. So I'm going to see if I can get a good shot of it here. I'm going to have to get up close and personal with Juicy, but maybe not. But let's see. Hold on. Okay, so you see that spot right on top of his head. That everything else is green and black blotch, and then there's just like this one like opal-like spot right on top of his head. That spot is important to him, and a lot of lizards have this spot actually, and this is called the parietal eye, or the third eye for a lot of people. Now this eye, unlike the two eyes that we can see that sees images and colors and all of that, this eye is special. It is specifically, it has like these nerve endings underneath it, so it doesn't have any scales there, which is why it doesn't look like anything else. There's no scales there. It has these nerve endings in it that are light sensitive, and so essentially it has multiple functions. This allows the animal to know when it is day and night out. So when it's sleeping, it knows when the transition from night to day is happening, knows when it's time to wake up and go about doing its thing. Now this right here, that one reason right there is why I often try to dissuade people who use the red or whatever type of night lights for their animals to try to provide them heat, but also be able to view them at night or whatever. The red lights, they're not great. It's kind of the reason we stopped selling them in the stores, and for various other reasons, but lights at night are not helpful for your animals because they can still see that. Even if it is like a red one, that is still something that they can see because that little spot on top of their head, that parietal eye, is making it possible for them to see that light, even if it's red. So it can see the changes in that light. Even if it goes from white to red, it is still a light, and they can just notice the change of it. But it doesn't mean necessarily that they're ending of a day. It's just the change of the light, which happens naturally in the wild as well. So I always try to steer people away from using things like red lights or any type of light really for any other animal at nighttime when there are things like the radiating heat panels or gosh, I'm blanking on the term for them, but it's the heat lamps that don't put out light, and I'm spacing because I'm just not thinking properly right now. But there are those out there as well, and so I always encourage people to use those because that specifically, that little organ on top of their head is very important for them to be able to identify when the lights are changing for their seasons and their day, and so they know when to become active and when not to, blah, 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 blah. So don't use red lights for your animals because of that. But also, because of that, the ability to tell when the lights are changing, so it knows when the light's starting to get like darker, they know it's starting to get close to time to start going to bed or whatever. They can also tell when the light suddenly changes. So for instance, a lot of their predators, things that could actually eat or prey on these guys, are actual birds, things that come from the sky. So they've obviously naturally developed this natural mechanism on top of their minds, on top of their little heads, that be able to actually identify when something is flying well above them. Even if it's like way, way, way up in the sky, that slight change of light from the bird flying past the sun or whatever will be actually noticed by the animal, and that animal has plenty of time to decide, okay, this thing is going to move past me or it's coming for me and I need to duck and dodge. So that parietal eye, or that third eye, is super important for them in the wild to be able to avoid natural predators that might actually try to prey on them. So that was just a little bit of fun, something that I figured that I would talk to you guys about today, because I don't think I've talked about it. I might have mentioned it, but I don't think I've ever really talked about it. And I could probably even go deeper into depth about it once I get a little bit more scientifically, like, about it, but I think that's just the basis of it all. It's just the third eye that doesn't necessarily see things like the rest of their eye, like the other two eyes, but it does allow them to see that light and dark change, and so if something's like a shadow crosses over them, they know if a predator is coming. They're able to identify that before their other two eyes can even see it. That eye will be able to catch it, and they can get to safety as quickly as possible. So it's just a really cool, fun feature that I figured that I would talk about here, and I've honestly never been able to see it as clearly on any other type of animal. Like I was able to kind of see it on Mango. You can kind of see it here in this picture. You could see that but it's so much smaller, and it's like it blends in pretty well with Mango's scales, but on Juicy's head it actually stands out a lot more, and I'm wondering if that's just a matter of just like how much light they get in comparison. Like, you know, Juicy's heats are not nearly as high as Mango's heats, and so maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe the melanation of it changes. I don't know, either way, but they both have it, and not all lizards have it. it. Snakes don't have it. Not all animals have it. There are some other animals besides reptiles that have it, but I'm a reptile channel, so I'm not going to jump into all of those particular animals. But there are other animals that have that same type of parietal eye. I'm not sure if it's well, maybe it's called the same thing, but they do have that same sense of being able to tell if there is something up there and it is time to go, or that there is a light and dark change of shift happening, and that helps them to identify that. So there are other animals that have it, and this beautiful girl has it, or this beautiful boy has it, and Mango has it. And you know what? Let me look. I am not actually seeing if they have it. I can't identify it on Rogue's head. I can't. But then she's shedding right now. She's got like this whole piece of if I can, I mean, you can sort of see she's got that whole piece of like skin over the top right there. So it could be somewhere right there, but it's usually, I think, closer to between the eyes where I can see, and I don't see anything on that. So I might have to do a little research and see if iguanas have those type of things as well, or this particular type of iguana, because maybe the green iguanas probably do. You know, they're a little bit more arboreal, so they tend to be a little bit higher up and therefore a little bit more visible to birds. So the chances of them actually having evolved to having one is probably a little higher than with like a spiny tail iguana. But maybe they both don't. Maybe they both do, and I just can't tell. But I'll dig deeper and I'll look into that, and then I will come back to you with those results when I find them. So, but yeah, I think this video has gone on long enough. I don't want it to be super long. I'm trying to bring it down. I know people don't even watch my 15-20 minute videos, but I'm just not a good person to bring it down to like 5 to 8 minutes. I've tried. I just don't ever feel like I can say enough. Or I end up going on tangents, and then needing to break up the video is just too much. And so I'm just allowing my videos to be what they are, and y'all watch what you watch, whether you watch the whole thing or not. I don't even care. I'm just vlogging my journey for myself and for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, though. You all take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. Love your loved ones. Love your reptiles. And you all keep spreading those herbs.